Welcome back. It's been a minute. Welcome back to the Back Channel Podcast, podcast for the everyday man and woman. So today is another installment of the Between Ladies and Gents little conversation. So today I have two good friends of mine. We have the elegant Miss Creesha. Hey, Creesha.
Hey.
Okay.
How are you?
Well, thank you. How are you?
Thank you.
Okay. And we got Senior Bubba.
What's going on?
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Oh yeah, my pleasure, man. Thanks for y'all taking time out of your busy life and coming out here and just kicking the can around with me. So interesting, like you guys are in still the South, but you guys are in different parts of the South. So I mean, so I only say that because I mean this is not necessary. This is just a way of saying that, like, this is not something that's dependent upon the geography that you guys are in. So, because a lot of times, a lot of these issues, it really matters like what part of the country that you're in. But what this is about basically is the title of this Between Ladies and Gents is, are Black men really checking for Black women? Now, what started, or excuse me, what inspired this was on my page, on my Facebook page, I put out a video that there was a young lady that she was. I want to get this right. She kind of did a video, and she was someplace she was doing some homework or reading a book or doing whatever, and she saw a guy, Black guy, and she thought him to be attractive and whatnot, and I guess she said he looked like an athlete, and but then she said that she, then it probably dawned upon her that this guy wouldn't talk to her, or wasn't, or probably wouldn't even, is not even checking for Black women, basically. And for the record, she's an African American woman, and this is an African American dude, And so when she was saying that, I guess basically she was tired of this, and she had this issue in the past or whatever. I guess when she was in school, I mean, another school, maybe it was high school or whatever. And for the record, she wasn't a bad looking girl at all.
Mm-mm.
And so, so we gonna take that off the table right now. If anybody's watching this and hadn't seen the video, it's gonna be like, well, maybe, but I mean, I think she was an attractive young lady. So I set the table for you. So, Creesha, it has been bestowed upon you to be the spokesperson for Black women. Oh, and she's drinking wine, so this might be good.
Oh, it's gonna be good.
This might be, as they say, fire. Anyway, so, Creesha, you saw the video. What did you think of it?
So when I saw it and I saw the title, I think the guy that posted it titled something like, "This is very disheartening that Black women think this way." As soon as I started to hear her speak, I honestly just flipped the video off, because it's something that I hear like almost every day. Like if I go out to a nightclub with a group of my friends, I'm usually the darker skinned one with the friends, and we walk past the guy. If it's a mixed club, of course, we walk past the guy, and probably one of us would say, if we pass 6 guys, 3 of them, he probably not even checking for Black girls. And it could be, their appearance, it could be just who they're around at that point, but it's just not something. That's what the guy meant. It's just not something that I heard, and I was completely taken aback by it. Like I heard it, and it was like, I said that 100 times. Let's go to the next video.
All right. So, okay, you said that, you walk past some guys and you guys said, or you said, I'm assuming your
Mhm.
friends too probably said like he ain't they
Mhm.
ain't checking. Now you say they probably ain't like. Now what makes you say that? Just because the reason why this is important to me is because both sides love to tell the other side what they're thinking, and neither one has spent
Right.
2 minutes in the other one's shoes. So
Right.
so I don't want to be the dude that sit up here and say, "Oh, girls, women they think this and that,
Mhm.
a third." So what does that mean? Like what? Like why do you think that? And what does somebody that looks like they ain't checking for black person because black women? So
I think. I think.
that's what I really want to know.
Right. I think it's kind of like what one of your friends posted. He was like, well, and it's horrible to say, but I'm being honest. He was like, well, I wasn't thuggish enough, or I wasn't hard enough. You pass a guy, and he appears buttoned up, and maybe we in a club and it's college guys, or maybe he's got some sort of status about himself. He, he probably gonna go. It's not gonna be surprising if this guy is looking for a white girl. Now, if I'm in that same club and I pass a dude, maybe that's not as I mean, as maybe more a little bit rugged, or like the guy said, thuggish. I hate that word. Let's say urban. Urban. That's a better word. Then, you know what I'm saying? Then it may be something. Then it's different. I may not think that immediately, but there's a type of guy that I see. Like she said, maybe he was an athlete. How many athletes you see start with a black girlfriend, and then when they make it, they end up married to a younger or to a white woman when they get some
Happen.
kind of status. So that's what's happening. So she was only speaking what she saw. I don't think she was speaking it out of some kind of like trauma, or a black man hurt her, or a black man chose a white woman over her. That's just what's going on.
All right, okay. We're gonna get back. There's a couple points that you said in there. I want to kind of get back with, but it's interesting. So Bubba,
Yes, sir.
Bubba, you saw the video.
I did.
Okay. What did you think of the video?
I mean, the video was okay, but I think, like you said, nobody spent 2 minutes in anybody else's shoes, and you don't know what was on dude's mind. You just jump to conclusions before, even shooting your shot. Just because you assume that he is not going to be into black women, that's not on him. That's on you. Go talk to him. Give me a number. Ask him out. I mean, it's okay. You never know what's gonna happen until put your foot in there. But I think this whole black men not going for black women has been a topic on the table for quite a while, and like especially as of late. Like Krisha had said, did I say that right? Is it Krisha?
You did. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Like Krisha said, when black men, the trend is, they get status, and then next thing you know, they leave the sister for a Becky or Karen or what have you, and it does happen. I can't sit here and act like it doesn't. But at the same time, Krisha may have been referencing my comment.
Yeah.
Maybe I had posted on there and said, I have gone after the sisters many a times. Sometimes they was with it, sometimes they wasn't. The ones that wasn't, they let me know right off. I think I used the word rough or what have you. I may have to go back and look and see what I said, but rugged. That's just my upbringing. I had very strict parents that came from the hood. My dad is from Detroit, Michigan. My mom is from Murfreesboro, Arkansas, and don't neither one of them play, man. So, I didn't get to stay out late. I didn't get to hang, and I'm a military brat, so we moved around a lot. And the places I grew up in, there weren't a whole lot of black people. I did not grow up around a whole lot of black people. Not to say that's that makes me not want to be with black women, but to them, I was that nerdy black dude. I was basically like Carlton from the Fresh Prince, except for we didn't have all the money, so. But as far as the video goes, I listened to her speak. She told the story, and but if you thought he was cute, I mean, what's stopping you except for your own assumption? You know what they say about assumptions, you can make an ass out of you and me. So that's how I felt about it.
Right. So Krish, here was my only well, full disclosure, I'm going to I basically, like, because I got this off Twitter, and I want to talk about so I made a comment, and I said, full stop, I said, she found a solution to a problem that she created. And and someone said, and another a lady contacted me, and she said, well, she's speaking from her experience. What y'all grown-ass men should be doing, instead of trying to invalidate her experience, is trying to understand what environments cause that mindset, because it's extremely common against Black women who grew up in white spaces. Now, my reply to that was, I'm not trying to invalidate her experience. However, by her own admission, she never spoke or approached the young man, yet still conjured up a behavior this guy never showed. We can acknowledge her history on the subject while still recognizing she projected her past unfairly onto him. Now, I think for me, what she has an issue with and what I had an issue with were two totally different, or two different things. My thing was not, I wasn't going to sit up here and say that her frustration isn't valid, like Bubba said. I mean, anybody who sit up here and try to act like some bros like leave a main chick who went up, kind of like went through the thick and the thin and all this other stuff with him, and then they end up dipping for a non-Black woman. That's just silly. You have to be crazy to say, to say that doesn't happen. But my issue was this, and okay, say you didn't want to shoot your shot at the dude. I understand, as a woman, I mean, particularly a Black woman, and don't get me wrong, I ain't up here caping, but it's a lot of things that I think Black women aren't afforded, and a lot of it is softness. I think a lot of times, like Black men, we kind of approach because where do you want to get to history? Historically, we don't approach like Black women in the same manner you are going to approach non-Black women, because there's a softness that you have to handle them with that I don't think a lot of times Black men, like when they're trying to, like, I'm not saying like in general, but I'm just saying, like, there's sometimes where I've just noticed, like, how some Black men talk to some of the women that they're trying to talk to. It's different than they're trying to talk to, like, you call it Becky. It's like, I just think, again, I'm saying this to say some things I don't think Black women are afforded. And I think when I say softness, meaning like, hey, let's approach her. Let's do this. Let's do that. And but so I understand that she didn't, maybe, hey, come notice me. You want to be noticed. I get it. Guys do too. We want to get noticed too. But the problem, say you didn't want to do that. My problem is, if you didn't want to shoot your shot, fine to talk yourself out of it. But don't cast this, like, you validated, like, you said, you know what, to make myself feel better about my own insecurities. The problem is with him. That's the problem that I had with what she was saying about that guy. not in general. Now, the other part about this, we can see the guy and maybe, I don't know if he's button up, as you saying, creature, and he had 4 points square, maybe we'd be like, oh, okay, girl, you don't need to really go that route, man. You ain't got a shot. But I guess my thing is, like, it's okay to not shoot your shot, but what's not okay is to kind of throw this shade on this guy. It's saying he probably never even thought about black women. And I was just like, that's a lot of an assumption for somebody that you did not say hello to.
Right.
So help me, Krisha, understand. I mean, like, how does that play out? How does that play out in your head where you can just dismiss something without even trying, but yet feel like you're 100% right?
I think that the way it probably played out in her head is, like I said, it's just what she sees. The school she's in, what she sees, or what she's experienced. I think that the way that she just spit that out and rattled that out and said it as if she already knew that half the women watching that video would relate to her. And I thought it was interesting that the men immediately thought she's just has low self-esteem, or she's not confident with herself, confident enough to talk to him. And so so she's projecting her lack of confidence onto him. I thought that was interesting, that's what the men immediately thought. And then all the women immediately thought, hear her. She's saying something valid. This is what we all feel and see. I can't find the words, but it's there. Like you watch television, you go out, you're gonna see mixed race couples, you're gonna see guys. Like I said, I guess it's a demographic of guys, or guys that you can just tell, like, all right, come on, he would rather somebody different. Let's just say somebody different. And it could be, like you said, that we're not afforded softness, but I think that I had a conversation with a guy the other day. Men may not approach us with softness because some black women don't know how to be soft.
Well, yeah.
Some black women were raised in a household where you got to be strong, you got to be this, you got to be that. And some men just like, I'm going to talk to her, I'll talk to her. She don't take it or she give it back to me. I'm gonna do something easier. That's what black women see. It's not as, I don't know, it's just a different approach, less of a hassle sometimes.
Okay. Well, first of all, I never think you was gonna say that, because I'll be honest with you. I expect you. Not you because it's you. I just expect, like, walking the earth, I was gonna sit here and not coax it out of a black woman to say, yeah, some black women just like, yo, it's too, like, they don't even want to deal with that. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, but so full disclosure, Bub, your wife is fill in that blank.
She is white and Hispanic.
Okay. Alrighty. So have you gotten, because I don't want this to go on like just solely about interracial, like, dating, because this is not where this is, or marriage. Right. This is not where I'm trying to go with this. I'm basically trying to figure out, like, you as someone, by your own admission, you said, hey, some girls check for you, not, or whatever. Do you feel that, was it easier dealing with in your opinion, I mean, just, was it easier dealing with your wife than it was the average black woman that you had been really, pursuing, I don't know, like, really exposed to? So, I mean, like,
I would have to say, to answer your question, absolutely not. It's not easier. As a matter of fact, it was hard, but over time, our relationship grew to where it was worth going through that. And like I said, like I've shot my shot at the sisters that, you know, catch my eye, and truth is, like, I like them dark. You know what I'm saying? I'm team Kelly Rowland over Beyonce all day.
See, y'all, see, you know what? No, man, go ahead. I'm just.
Yeah, but yeah, you know, it was when the Black women that I was with, you know, when things were good, they were great. But then, you know, when they weren't, you know, I you know, stuff would come down, and it's like, we're seeing this isn't working, you know, it's like, this isn't something I want to deal with, you know, the respect isn't there because, you know, I don't make this kind of money, you know, versus, you know, Pookie and them over there, you know, my car ain't looking like this. I don't have the J's. I don't have this and that, you know, and not to say that all Black women are materialistic. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just naming out BS reasons to, you know, comparisons that I would get from them, you know, certain things that I don't worry about, you know. I like gaming and anime, you know, I work with my hands, you know, I work at a college, you know, like I said, I'm the nerdy type, you know. I played sports and all that, but there's something about the Black women I was with, you know, it just didn't work. And like I said in my comment, you know, I had this other female over here who was not Black, who held it down, you know. And when my life was just in a downward spiral, you know, getting in trouble with the police, running with people I shouldn't have been running with, you know, just almost ruined my life for the absolute worst. And she was right there holding it down. And, you know, the other girls, they was like, you know, they ain't got time for this. They just gone, you know, I don't have time to hang out. I ain't got time to spend money or do whatever it is that they want to do, or they just out, you know. She's right here, you know, telling me to get my life together, helping me get my life together. And, you know, we'll be married 13 years this year. I got 2 beautiful kids, a son and a daughter. And I hear Black women talk. I even got it, you know, from my family in the beginning. Nothing major, but comments were there. It's like, I'm supposed to turn all of that down. I'm supposed to turn the loyalty down. I'm supposed to turn, you know, this woman down who's been there for me because she doesn't have, you know, Black skin. And to me, it's slight hypocrisy, you know what I'm saying? You know, I do what I do, you know, because that's how I move. And I think people should try to not worry so much about what other people are doing. Maybe that dude isn't for you. You know, your dude will come along. You have your standards, you set in your ways, and he'll come, you know. You sitting on the bench doing your homework, dude walks by, you know, 1, you didn't shoot your shot, 2, you don't know him from anybody else. So you don't know, you know. It's hard to just fill those gaps off of assumptions. You know, I understand your experiences. I'm not going to try and downplay them like they didn't happen or they're not valid. But everything you went through, that man has nothing to do with it. You know what I mean? I mean, until you shoot your shot and then, you know, maybe a relationship starts to form, be it just a 5-minute relationship of y'all talking, or going out to get coffee or drinks, or going to the club, going to a movie, or, you know, long term. And then until he puts you off to the side, you know, for a non-Black woman, it's unfair to put him in that category of your past experiences just off of assumptions. Like I said, I love Black women. I love Black love. I love seeing my brothers and sisters together. I love that. You know, there's not a part of me that, you know, I don't feel like I missed out on anything. You know, I don't wish things were different, you know, because if they were, I wouldn't have what I have right now. I want to see that people want what they want, and that's okay. I want you to want what you want. I want you to get what you want, whoever or whatever that may be. But what I do with me and mine, you know, it doesn't concern you. It doesn't affect you. You know, I think we worry about that just a little bit too much. You know, I don't want to, just like you said, I don't want to go into the whole interracial thing too much, but I mean, my wife and I, we get the stares. When we moved to Texas together, we weren't here a few weeks before a couple guys in the truck rode by, called her an N-word lover. I don't know if I can say that on the show, so I'm gonna keep it clean. Yeah, we just walking into Kroger and they just let her have it, you know. I get it all the time, you know, and it's like, you know, like I said, I love my people, you know, I donate to my people, I volunteer time to my people. I want to see my people eat, I want to see them succeed, I want to see them grow and prosper, you know. Just because my wife is not Black doesn't take away from any of that. And it shouldn't, that thought shouldn't go through your mind, you know. It's more assumptions and it's more basically like prejudiced thoughts, you know, if that makes sense. But I just, you know, as a Black man in an interracial relationship, it can be tough, but you know, I have nothing against the sisters, man. Like, I want you to find your king. I want you to be happy, you know, but I think there's something we just gotta maybe just tone it down a little bit. You know, it's not always gonna be a home run right out the park. You're gonna have to go through thick and thin to find whoever it is that you're supposed to be with, you know.
Well, okay. Good stuff, Bub. And congrats on the kiddos. It's always cool, you know, when y'all post pictures of them on the timeline or on IG or whatnot. So I'm always kind of like, you know, looking, you know, because I know what y'all, I kind of got a little glimpse of what y'all kind of went through in order for that to happen. So
right,
I know how much you know, appreciative of that. But now here's where the part where, like, as a dude, I sit up here and like when it comes to this subject is really kind of like I'm really reluctant to have this conversation. Like I always say, in mixed company. Like I don't like to have this conversation in mixed company, but because people don't look at it genuinely. Like, okay, hey, well, this is an issue. Like, hey, I didn't know about, you know, like non-Black people I didn't know about. I always wonder, do they look at it as like, wow, look how in disarray that culture is. But that being said, I mean, hey, everybody will be humbled. So with that, I mean, there is something, here's where I feel like, in general, I feel for Black women is like there is a loyalty factor beyond what any other, in my opinion, my experience, any other race. I think close probably would be Hispanic. I think that would be a close second. But there's a loyalty factor, you know, Black women to Black culture. I think that's pretty much unparalleled. I mean, to the point where Black women aren't marrying. I mean, like, I can tell you this. I mean, Hispanic, Asian, whatever, and even, but you know, this tide is changing in a way as far as Black women, but they'll go get them a white dude before they not get married. And that's a little bit more widely accepted in their cultures. I mean, that doesn't mean it's all rosy. Don't get me wrong, it's not all rosy in theirs, from what I understand. But the blowback that I think those cultures get versus, I mean, them bringing a white dude or white girl home is, I would like, I'll put it this way: I've never been Asian, I've never been Hispanic or Latin or whatever, Latino, but I bank on taking. I'd rather be an Asian or white or Asian or a Latino dude bringing a white girl home than a Black dude. Like, I'll just be honest with you, it's just like the heat that be coming off that couch. Whoo! But anyway, but like I said, that there's a loyalty factor. I think that I feel that's why I try to relate to. I try to, you know, sympathize with what the girl was saying, because it wasn't what she was saying. I tried to exclude what she was saying about that particular guy, but she said, like, I've seen this when I was ever since I've been in school. And I kind of like, man, like what I was hearing was like, man, she didn't believe in her prospects. She didn't believe in the prospects of her like finding a mate in this, which is really unfortunate because again, regardless of if she's an attractive woman or not, but I mean she was, which is really kind of like, man, like I felt like I after I thought about it, I felt bad. But and I don't know where this stat come from, but because if it's on the internet, it has to be true, right? Well, you hear this stat that 85% of black men marry black women. I don't know where that stat came from. But if that's true, somebody lying. I'm just saying.
I think it's true, but the key word there was married. I've had black men tell me they'll date outside their race all day long. They'll find this person attractive, but when it comes down to it, and they want to make a family, and they want somebody to be, like, I'll use the word loyal, to hold it down, to make sure when they get ready to get married, they're going to marry a black woman. I've heard it verbatim, and I thought, how stupid. You know, like, okay, so you know that I'm going to hold it down. You know that I'm going to work and take care of the kids and do things, and we're going to be a team, but you don't want that right now. You know, so you want that later. So while you playing, you know, I'm not attracted. But when you're ready to stop, that's when you're going to come to me, because that's when you're ready to get a partner or a helpmate.
To be fair.
I've heard it.
I know I know you've heard that. I know you heard that. Okay. But to be fair, like
you can't say nothing. You heard it.
No, but to be fair, dudes, when most guys, when they're ready to settle down, women have been wanting to settle. Y'all mature faster than us.
Absolutely.
You mature faster than us. So yeah, we want to play around. I'm not saying that's not right. I mean, but you want to date. You want to do this. You don't want to, like, you don't necessarily want to be like, oh man, I don't feel like, you know, it's like, you know, people go, hey man, you know, you get out of college, you know, I'm gonna go live abroad for 2 years. Then I'll come back and get a job. You know?
But is that fair, black woman? Is that fair for that 21, 22-year-old black woman that's keeping herself up and doing what she should do? And is it fair?
Hold on now.
I would say it's absolutely fair.
Why?
I mean, because
you get the best version of us that you can get.
Why?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm single till I'm 30, because my preference is a black man, because I got to let you finish playing, and then you're going to come see what I'm about.
I mean, but that's him though. You got a whole planet full of black men. I mean, that's him that said that. That's that dude that said that. So if you waiting on him, then that's on you.
I ain't waiting on that.
If you waiting on that one dude that said that, that's on you. That's not on the entire nation of black men. Yeah.
That dude, I'm just that I've heard it from the majority of dudes, and I just don't think it's fair.
Now let me. Okay.
I don't be laughing. I just know.
So out of you said you've heard it multiple times. Out of the guys that you've heard that from, how many have you seen, if any, follow through with that?
Most of them.
Most of them, okay.
Yeah, and because I can say that for a factoid. I've heard that before. I mean, I ain't over
here. I've heard it plenty.
I ain't over here simping. I'm just saying I heard we gonna keep, like you say, you're gonna keep it a buck. It's I heard it.
Yeah.
But so, but here's the thing. We didn't say that y'all couldn't date.
Right.
Because I mean, nobody's saying that, even though we know chances are, bro, see you with a white dude, we ain't really cool with that. But at the same time, we're not saying that you can't do that. But you guys mature faster than us.
Right.
And I'm not telling you it's 30. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying, like, man, like Chris Rock had a great saying. Like, it was funny when he said it, but then I thought about it later on, and it wasn't funny. It was just the truth funny. Because he said,
When he said with conditions, is that what you're talking about?
Say what?
When he said like black women love with conditions or women love to have conditions or something.
No. That was a good one too. But it was about when he was talking about like cheating. And this isn't about cheating, but this kind of applies to women maturing faster than men. He was like, women don't understand how a man is weak, become so weak to cheat. And Chris Rock said, well, it ain't nothing for y'all because, every dude been trying to have sex with y'all since y'all was 14.
Exactly.
And so I say this to say, like, man, please, you like, man, girl, I done had all kind of fun ever since I was 16 because let's be honest, we talked about this before. People talk about like, statutory rape, but we were like, hey, y'all ain't say that when that 20-year-old was dating the finest 16-year-old in high school.
Right.
Exactly.
Like, right.
It wasn't rape then, but
right.
Anyway.
Right.
So by the time y'all 20, 21, 22, you're like, I'm just tired of all these people in my face. I just want one dude, whatever. We at 21, we like, I can drink.
It's time to wild out now.
You over here talking about, man, I'm trying to start my life and, do this. We over here like, man, it's happy hour. Like that we can really actually enjoy that. So that's not an excuse. I'm just saying and plus we want to give y'all the best version of us. So we gotta go ahead and get
that's
all that.
That's a whole nother subject for a whole nother podcast. Because if women thought that way, you wouldn't marry the woman that was in her 20s having fun, having sex and doing whatever. Because you wouldn't. That's a whole nother subject.
Okay, first of all,
you wouldn't.
We're not gonna get into it. Let's just first of all,
it's a whole nother subject.
I really appreciate you trying to steer it that way. So
it's a whole nother. Go ahead, write it down. That's another subject. That's not.
We could do that. But but no, but seriously, I believe here's what I believe. I believe that to your point, black men are marrying black women at high rates.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think we are. But I also think there is a disconnect in what how we communicate. Because I here's why I think part of the thing is we rely so much on, it's just some, we talk about black love, we talk about like, something about a black woman and something about a black man, but we spend almost zero like time really communicating, just, you know what I'm saying? I mean, men and women, I mean, regardless of culture, I mean, a race or whatever, still gonna have that, like, then, but it's just different. I just think we're unique people in a very unique situation in this country. So there's so much that we take for granted or we just don't do. And I think one of those things is we don't listen to each other very well.
Mm-hmm.
And both sides, in my opinion, men are like women are basically saying, you don't treat black women, you don't respect black women. Like, first of all, Twitter is the best app in the world. I love Twitter because you get the jokes off. It's just fun. Like I don't take it serious. But what the common thing that I do see on that app is, women are saying that every day I get on this app and y'all show me, black men show me how y'all don't even like black women. I just be like, what? Like, part of that is like, man, y'all need y'all need to tone that down a little bit. Now you got a beef, I understand, but to be like y'all don't like black women, I'd be like, man, come on now, like come on. Now, do we men have some? We definitely have not been all good to black women throughout history, duh. But I don't believe in like, black men don't like black women or whatnot. But on the flip side, black men are sitting there saying, man, take some accountability. Take some accountability for the situation, so some part of the situation that you're in. Not all of it, because I definitely put the ingredients in there too to mess that up, that pot. But take some accountability, and everybody's shouting at everybody because there's no way that is not healthy that young lady that's the thoughts that she had about, like, she took herself out of that situation because she knew what that was going to be. And I don't know, I just don't like, how do you, aside from like, hey, black dude, go date her, aside from that, like, how do you fix that? Because there's a disconnect there. And I'm not gonna blame the media either. I'm not gonna blame the media, because media is blamed for everything. But I blame us more than on that, because I believe there's a message being sent out or being put out that's just wrong. And I always say this: you can be loud, you can be wrong, but there's no way on earth you should be loud and wrong. So, Bub, how do we, rather than telling this young lady, hey, this, or young ladies like this, do this, do that, how, as black men, how do we help her and assure her that like that's not what's going down here?
Well, I would have to say, just like you said, we got to tone some of this down. We got to tone the aggression down. You got to have the conversation. We as a people have to have the conversation. Black men and black women need to have the uncomfortable conversation, put it out on the table. And this is something that I highly doubt any of us here in this chat right now are going to see in our lifetime, but it comes with upbringing. It comes with respecting one another, and understanding that you're not always going to get what you want, but at the same time, be easy. If what you want is a black man as a black woman, cool. But, when you don't get what you want or things don't happen the way you want, you can't just blanket it over, everybody. You running around with 2 shotguns hitting all black men. It's like, no, it's not all black men. It's not all black men. Okay. But like you said, stand up, take accountability. It is some black men. It's a good number of black men, but not all of them. It's not all of them. Yes, I'm in an interracial marriage. I have no qualms about that whatsoever. I will walk around with my.
You better not have qualms about it.
No. But I will walk around with her and my kids, with my chest out, all day, every day. And, I get the looks from the black women. And I was like, look, sister, I ain't did nothing to you. Sometimes I want to ask them, like, do you want me? Are you attracted to me? Are you? No. So what are you mad about? Don't get mad. I mean, like, it's not like we were together. and I left you for her, you know what I'm saying? Or I was with another sister and I left her for her. That didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, as soon as you see it and you don't like it, that's what's got to stop, you know. Not to start nothing, not to, you know, play tit for tat, but, you know, like you had mentioned, the Black women, you know, dating white men, you know, and I've seen that plenty. And, you know, Black women, I've heard them, you know, seen them together and they talking, and it's like, you know, I went and found me a white man and he treat me good and he got money and this and that. And the girls is all like, go ahead, sister. I hear you, go ahead. You know, it's like, you do what you do. I mean, you going on wine tours, he taking you to Europe and this and that. And it's all good on that other side. You know, I don't really hear the sisters knocking each other for dating outside their race as much as they do Black men. Not that I want them to, I'm just pointing that out, you know.
Oh, you ain't gonna hear that, bro. Oh, no. You ain't gonna hear that.
No, you're right. But at the same time, you know, I think things could be a bit more cordial, you know, and more understanding between all of us. If people understood, you know, like, I'm not gonna go down the road that you want me to go down. That man that walked by you as you were studying, you don't know what road he's heading down. You don't know what he's attracted to. You don't know who he's attracted to. Just like I think it was Krisha that may have said, you know, he may not even like women. Like he may be into men for all you know. You know, then what? You know, like, that's a whole nother conversation that Black women love to have about brothers on the down low, or, you know, being openly gay. Like, I ain't got no problem with it, but it's, you know, you do what you do. And it's, you know, I understand how hard it can be. I understand that Black women absolutely go through a lot and always have in history, more so than any other woman. And I get it. I get it, you know, as much as a man can get it, you know, but I hear you, I feel you. But at the same time, I'm like, you know, put the guns away, you know what I'm saying? And like, I think we can come together and have an understanding, you know, that, you know, not everything is going to work, but there is a Black man out there for the sister that wants it. You know, maybe you need to broaden your horizons a little bit. Maybe, you know, you know, some women have to come down off of the pedestal that they on, you know, and just look and mingle. And, you know, your dude may not be, you know, 6'2" dunking on folks on the court. He might not be that dude. He might be the dude in IT down the hall fixing computers. He might be a janitor. Nothing wrong with that profession, but he just might be. A good Black man is a good Black man, regardless of what he's doing for a living, as long as it's legal and ain't hurt nobody. You know, what he looks like. It's just one of them things where it's like you have to take whatever goggles off that you wearing sometimes and have a reality check with yourself and understand that, you know, you might be setting your standards a little bit too high or somewhere else, where it's like you missing good Black men, you know, walking right by you all the time. That might have been her dude. That might have been her dude as she was sitting there studying. That might have been the one. We ain't even said that. That might have been the one. And we can't even negate that because she didn't even shoot her shot. She didn't even send a signal out. you didn't even try.
Okay.
You didn't flirt. You didn't say, hey, you know, so I'm just saying.
All right. So I can't wait to hear this. So Krisha.
Well, listen, let me start with this. The narrative that when a Black woman vents her frustration, the aggressive or aggression, both of y'all said it, tone down the aggression or don't be, why is it aggression? And it's only, wait a minute, and it's usually only Black women that get that. That girl could have just been frustrated. Black women are taught to be strong most of the time. And I can't speak for a lot of Black women because a lot of Black women have to, you know, Black women are raised by women that teach them to be strong and you can handle whatever and you can run your household and you can do whatever. because a man's not there. But when a black woman is strong, or when she's speaking out, even if she's speaking out strongly, maybe, my voice is soft, so I don't think it. But if she's speaking out, she's automatically, that aggression word automatically comes. And aggression is a turnoff. It is. But to say tone it down, or to, why can't you take her frustration and help her to ease it? Conversation
because it's misplaced. It's misplaced frustration.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't think so.
All right, go ahead. Well, for
I
the
think the
record,
frustration is misplaced.
okay, for the record, when I said take it back, but I wasn't saying tone it down as like not literally like, oh, the decibels. I was saying like talk to the person versus at them about this thing. Like if you're gonna have like black men and black women talk to each other, like we just don't start flaming. Like that's what I meant by like, not necessarily like, I wasn't saying aggressive like you're intimidating me. I was saying you need to talk to the person, talk to the black man versus at him. I wasn't saying aggression. I said you need to take that back. I wasn't saying it like, yo, girl, like I wasn't saying like, oh my goodness, you're like, like I'm locking my car doors, like when I see like black people, not like the white person. I wasn't saying like that. So I'm sorry.
No, I get that, but I get that trait.
Go finish. Go
no,
ahead.
I get that, but I get that that's not attractive to black men. That's not attractive. Black men are. I had a conversation with a guy. We just sat down and talked, and he said the reason why I don't date some black women is because they have this "I don't need a man" mentality, and it's the aggression and it's the attitude, and I just don't want to be bothered. And I said, well, how come you can't we're having this conversation? You can't have a conversation. See what happened. See how they were brought up. If they were brought up in a home where they had to be strong and they had to act a certain way to get stuff done. I personally have seen it, and I know a frustration of a lot of black women, and I hope that nobody takes offense to this. But sometimes when black men choose outside their race, they choose a white girl guest starring as a black girl, and you try to do the vernacular as a black girl. You roll your neck, you snap your fingers, you do the hand clapping.
Yeah.
Just get a black girl if that's what you like.
Yeah. Okay. I'm glad you said that. Real quick, I'll let you go, because I said the same thing about a certain aspect of another demographic that I won't say on here, but I'll say it once we click off. Once we stop recording, I'll say it. But that's right. A good point. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's just what I'm saying. I just think that black women speak passionately. They're full of emotion, and that's a turn off to men, because some men, again, they just think that it's them just being hard and being hard to deal with. But black women are some of the softest women you can meet, but you just got to have the conversation. I think it's true that we have to have conversations, so we can't just make assumptions.
Yeah.
I think that it's true that we have to be.
Yeah, and
I'm with that, but I also have to say that when you now this is just me. When I think about strength, I don't think strength and aggression just go hand in hand. Like, you can be strong. You can be a strong black woman and not be aggressive. You can be an aggressive woman and still be weak. I think, it's more than just that. Just because you aggressive, I like aggressiveness. My wife is very aggressive. And I told her, I love how she asserts herself. I love, like, she doesn't pipe down at all. She gives me the heat when it's needed, and I love it. I think it's very healthy, but I think there are some women who think being aggressive or overly aggressive is showing strength, and I don't think that's what that is. Now, black men who say, and I've heard this, I'm with you on it. You know, I don't date black women because I don't have time. I don't feel like dealing with the aggressiveness or the attitude or this and that. It's just, that's not fair to black women because that's not all black women. You know, I've met plenty of black women who are not aggressive at all. You know, they very calm and cool and easygoing, and you know, they just do their thing, and they'll never yell at you. They ain't gonna be snapping and you know all this and the clapping. They don't do it, but they will check you, and you know, with the quickness, you know. And I think it's one of those things again where it's like, black man, you just blanketed black women with this stereotype, and it's not all of them. And that's where the conversation is. There are different types of black women all over the place with different personalities, different ticks, different ways of expressing themselves. Same for black men. It's like you just haven't found the black woman or black man that fits with you. And if all you want is a black woman or a black man, it's like, okay, you've cut out all of the other people on the planet. So you only working with this, you know. Some of us didn't cut that. Like I never really cared as much as others. And I chose to be with somebody who chose to be with me and stick with me. And I'm happy for it. But I do, like I said, I want to see those black women who want a black man get your black man. But you know, I honestly, like, I sit back and I just watch the fire, you know, the shots fired back and forth, and it's like, you know, I think there's a better way, but it's not gonna come until we have that conversation. And I don't think that just because my wife isn't black that I don't know anything about what we talking about. And it's not like, you know, I took the easy way out, because I'm telling you right now, it is not easy in this house at all. You know, I have my own set of troubles that come with being in an interracial relationship, interracial marriage, and those will be here for years to come. And I know better than to, like, I don't go to black women and talk about my issues because, you know, I don't want to hear it's possible. I'm not saying it will, but I don't want to hear that. Well, that's what you get for dating outside. It's like, look, I understand. You know, I chose this road. You know, but at the same time, you know, like it is what it is, man. You know,
I was like, you damn sure gonna hear that. If they know you like they know you, you damn sure. Hey, but here go the thing though. Here go the thing, and that ain't just like black women though, because if a black woman came to her friends that are a black dude and complained about her white or Asian or Hispanic husband, they're gonna say the same thing. So I mean,
right.
You're gonna say the same thing, especially if you tight with them. You know what I mean? That's my homegirl. I mean, okay, reason. You know what? I'm going. You know what? I ain't gonna say that because you already know what I was gonna say. You already know what I'm gonna say, but I ain't gonna say it.
Say it.
No. I was gonna
say it.
No, I'm just gonna say. I'm sure you probably had a similar conversation with a mutual friend. Yeah. Okay. So all I'm gonna say, I would say this, and then I don't want to hold y'all. I'm gonna let y'all go. I want to keep this kind of condensed. If I did say aggression or whatever, I apologize. That's not what that's not how I view black women. Like I legit don't even like that. I feel as though that's almost like it's such a stereotype, such a strong stereotype. That even we believe it, and it's really not, in my experience. I don't think that's, you know. And Bubba mentioned like all the clapping and stuff. Like I see that in really two places. I see that in the movies or on the internet, and I don't like. I've really never really seen that, me personally. So that doesn't mean it exists. It's just I just haven't seen it. So the point of this whole thing was, again, like, while I didn't like, you know, part one was I didn't like the fact that she was casting this guy, you know, saying he had this, you know, he was exuding a behavior that he wasn't actually demonstrating. I had a problem with that. But at the same time, the second part of it, I felt really, really bad for her that she actually like thought that. I mean, thinks that because she like if you watch the video, she was you could tell that wasn't just like I'm just going here to go viral. Nah, she kind of was like, yo, and
He was
I just,
frustrated.
yeah, and I just think that's a shame because um, it's not like that because the funny thing about it is I know more of the black men I know that are married to black women. Now there's I got a really good friend who's married to a Latina and but you know aside from that most are married to black women. So in closing, I just wanted to say that I think we need to have a serious conversation and one that needs to be, I mean, if we are serious about uh, being, you know, like moving forward together, like this has to be a conversation that is done in person and not on social media, not on somebody's talk show.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be done in the trenches, like, you know, Monday through Sunday, and not just on a podcast, you know, whatever like that. So, hey, I try to keep this in an hour. We're close, but I want to thank Krisha. Appreciate you coming in and giving a woman's perspective. And I apologize if we mansplain.
Don't apologize.
Yeah. I hope we didn't feel like we was ganging up on you or nothing like that.
And no, I wouldn't do that because I know I'm gonna see her in a few months, so I ain't gonna do that. So, Bubs, hey, thanks, man. I appreciate it, man, and I'm glad you. I mean, you have a unique perspective because I, I wanted you to be on here simply because everything isn't an absolute, and I just think it's like you know people. I think a lot of times when some people are on opposite sides of our points of view, we don't see them as people as much as you kind of see them as an entity. And you know, there's real people over there, like you know, both the households dealing with similar issues, and
Right.
it's really no different. It's just the circumstances may have changed, but I mean,
Exactly.
you're still trying to live life, find you know, pursuit of happiness, and you're trying to film the safest possible environment for both you and your family. So no different. But again, hey, thank you guys for coming on, and I will definitely we'll appreciate. We'll do another one. We're gonna talk. We'll do another one.
Okay.
But that one I'm gonna do it all women because I just want to hear. I just want to hear that. But because I put guys on that panel, ain't nobody gonna be it's gonna be shots fired. So
yeah.
All right.
Don't invite me because
Yeah. Nah.
All right, man.
All right. Hey, y'all be good. And I appreciate y'all coming out. Hey, this is a Back Channel podcast, the podcast for the everyday man and woman. This has been Between Ladies and Gents. So tune in next time. Peace.